Saturday, we went to bye bye. We went, to bye
Yeah,
bye
bye bye.
for
Wait,
the ghost, to the ghost.
you bye bye to the ghost. When was that? Saturday?
Yes, yes. That's for
Is
it's
it the ghost month or something?
exactly. It's the ghost month, and we have to, bye bye to them to in case they find trouble from us.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Every
see.
year July, every
So
year
the
July.
ghost month.
Yeah. Yes, ghost month.
So, so when did it
Sorry. Uh,
hello?
Hello.
When did it start and when will it end?
It starts at the lunar calendar in July 1st to July 8月. Sorry, it's yes, it's lunar calendar. It's July 1st to July 31st in lunar calendar.
And for the regular calendar, what's that?
For the regular calendar, uh, well, I'm not sure of the exact date, but
Uh-huh.
but it's something started in the middle of August to in the middle or end of August, and then for a month.
Middle and August. Okay, well it's like first week of August right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the first week of August, right? So and it started already, right? So I guess it's not the middle of August.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So do you need to go bye-bye every day?
No, just one time. We we have the whole community. We bye bye together.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Like in your neighborhood?
Yes, yes. In the
Oh,
park.
I see. Are you in Taipei?
Yeah.
I thought people in Taipei don't really, they don't, what you call it, they don't even know each other, like the neighborhood, like you don't even know your next door neighbor.
Uh,
Yeah, but
yeah.
I thought people
Mm-hmm.
in Taipei don't talk to each other.
I think it depends. Our neighborhood is a very good, it's a very good area. So, the atmosphere is good, and how you know we have good relations with our neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, that's very nice to know. Yeah,
Mm.
because most of my students in Taipei, according to them, they don't even talk to their neighbors. Like they don't even know, like like their neighbors in the same floor, apartment floor. They don't even know their names. Like they've
What?
been living for yeah, they've been living there for like I don't know 10, 20 years, and they don't even talk. Like yeah, they see each other in the elevator and they just smile, and that's it. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
and it's that weird. I think if that was me, I would definitely know their names, and I'll be knocking on their door and say, "Hey, what's for dinner?" Or something.
Mm-hmm. What's for dinner?
Yeah,
Are you serious? Is it a greeting? Is it a what? Is it a greeting or um?
not greeting. It's just my way of expressing how close I'm going to be with my neighbors.
I see.
For example, you're so close with your neighbor and your neighbor's bored. Your neighbor could call you and say, "Hey, Kate, are you busy? Would you want to eat lunch with me? I cooked some, I don't know, something." Like my
Mm-hmm.
neighbor actually did that. Not my next door neighbor, but my neighbor like five houses away. She called me one time and say, "Hey, are you busy?" And I said, well, I'm in class until this time. And she told me, hey, do you want to eat lunch with me? Because I'm alone. I don't want to eat lunch alone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I asked her, well, what's for lunch? Well, I fried some fish and some veggies and this, and that. I hope you don't mind. And I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll come over. No problem. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and I could do the same thing. I could call her and I said, hey, would you want to eat lunch? Or would you want to eat dinner? And she would say, oh, my kids are here. I'll bring the food to your house. So I will bring the food and eat her house in her house, stuff like that. So I
Mm-hmm.
guess if it's the next door, same, I think that would be more convenient because it's in the same floor. Unlike my neighborhood, I have to go outside the house and go to their house. But if it's just on the same floor, even if there's typhoon, no problem because I won't even
Yeah.
get wet going to their apartment, right?
Yes.
So maybe I could just knock in their door and say, hey, there's no electricity. Would you want to play cards or would you like to play chess together?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, yeah, stuff like that. It's like you become cousins,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like your family because you're living on the same floor.
Mm.
So,
We
yeah, have you
we
experienced that kind of stuff, Ariel?
we are not that we are not that close, but we greet to each other, and we give each other some fruits or snacks, some food, and we share information with each other. Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
but but I've never tried, to eat at my neighbors or my neighbor eat my house. I think that's the main reason is um, we are from different generation. Our neighbors, our neighbor who is like a generation older than us. So um, their sons and daughters are around my age, and
Mm-hmm.
then they uh, in terms of age, they can be our dads and moms, but we are neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, just we are good with each other, but we are not that close, like like
Oh,
like like you said.
oh,
I mean,
okay. Well,
like your example.
I see. Well, I'm kind of like close with one of my neighbors who's even older than my mom. Yeah.
Mm.
So just call her auntie, like auntie.
Is she
She
is she living alone?
no, and two sons. I
Living
mean,
with
she's
her?
older than my mom,
Uh-huh.
but her sons are younger than me. You know.
Okay.
So basically, when she gave birth to her sons, I was there playing with the baby. And I was a kid. I was a little kid at that time, and I was playing with the babies. And then she got her second baby, and she would bring it to our house, and just
Oh.
be with the baby, and yeah, I used to hang out in her house a lot. When I was a kid. So
Mm-hmm.
I just called her auntie, like, oh, auntie, blah, blah, blah. And she's very skillful, like skillful that she knows to do almost everything. She could fix shoes, she could do crochet, she
Wow.
does knitting, she does cross stitching, she does,
So what is
she
crochet?
makes, she's very skillful when it comes to art and stuff. She can learn to do whatever, like sewing and stuff. So every time my clothes need some sewing, I would go to her like, Auntie, can you fix my clothes, please?
Really?
Yeah, sure. And she would do it. Or Auntie, my pants, thing about it. She would do it, and she taught me how to knit when I was a kid.
Wow.
And I remember in grade school we had a like cross stitching project, and sure
Cross
I could do it,
cross
but it's
stitching.
yeah, cross stitching. I'm not sure what kind of stuff you do in your school, but in here in the Philippines, this is one of the common. common art projects that they would teach students, or they would require students to actually do. Wait, it's a good picture. Okay, this one. I'll put it on Ariel's. Oh, express yourself. Express yourself. Okay, just locate my cursor and express yourself.
Okay. Express yourself.
The picture beside Japanese speech.
Oh. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah.
You see it?
Yes. Yeah, we do that too.
I do that in school.
Yeah.
Yes. So basically, I had a cross stitch project before, and I think I was only in the 4th grade at that time.
Mhm.
Yes. And anyways, I gave it to her, and just one day she finished it. One day she finished it. Like, she looked at my pattern and she said, this is easy. You know. And then the next day she's like, see, Kate, I'm done. I was like, wow, like, it's amazing. You're done, you know.
That
so
was
basically in school, I was just playing with my cross stitch in school, because my teacher doesn't know that I actually have a finished project in my house already. So by the deadline, I'm just gonna give my teacher the finished product. But while in school, I'll just chit chat with my friends and pretend I'm doing my cross stitch. Like, you know, I would still be doing cross stitching, but I'm just playing with it. I'm not like in a hurry to finish it, because I actually have one at home which is already finished. You know?
Okay.
Yes, so every time. And we also need to make a stuffed toy, like a stuffed animal.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like a teddy bear or something.
Yes.
Yeah, she just finished the teddy bear quickly, and again in school I just pretend to.
Excuse me, I take a phone call.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
喂，哎，妈妈，我在上课，我等下打给你，好不好？拜拜。Sorry.
That was quick.
Yeah, it's my mom.
Yeah, I think the quickest phone call that my student.
Because I told her I'll call her back.
Okay, hold on, let me just answer this call. And I was like, okay. She just okay. Yeah. Anyway, so the quickest phone call is, you know, my student just said, "Wait, you know." Yeah.
Okay, the connection is bad. Hello.
Once system. Okay. I think there are 2 main issues in Taiwan's education system. One in higher education is in college and university, while the other is in primary school, from elementary schools to junior. One in higher education is in college. All right. I'll just what you call it. Yeah, it's too lengthy, and one in higher education, and you don't say SN, you just say one in higher education, like in college, while other primary schools from elementary to junior high school. You know, I think it's just better for you to say, and nobody really talks that way. It's just, you know.
Yeah.
could say, I think there are two main issues. Okay, one issue is in the tertiary level. Tertiary level meaning to say college. Okay. One
Okay.
issue is in a tertiary level, and another in the, okay, you call it secondary.
Okay.
They're in the secondary, and you know what? I'll just say primary and secondary level. Primary is grade school, junior high, senior high, secondary. Even if senior high is not involved, just say secondary because your junior high is there. Okay, so, and another is in the primary and secondary level. That's it. Okay, sorry. All right.
Tertiary level, and another is in primary and secondary level.
Well, higher education, yeah, you don't call it higher education because if you say higher education is kind of like yeah, it has a broader meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I mean, it's college, university. Well, basically, it's just any kind of education, like beyond high school or something. Yes. Yeah, but we just call it tertiary. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. First in higher education, it's about 15 years ago or prior. Okay. Just delete this. No need because you already. It's like you already mentioned this and that. So basically, just go straight and just talk about it, alright?
Mm-hmm.
Because in your story, like a student university, then that means that's tertiary level, right? You don't need to say first in tertiary level or first in college level or higher education, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's you keep mentioning it, so
Okay.
you don't say it that way. Okay. So about 15 years ago, our you mean former president, not prior.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Former.
Yeah, so our former. Okay. Or you could just say 15 years ago, our president at that time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You could just say that. Or 15 years ago. Or, yeah, you could say our president at that time. Or you could say our president at that time. All right, you could say that too.
Mm-hmm.
15 years ago, our former president, and prior, okay, again, just say former. Okay. And former education prime minister. Education. Okay, you don't say education prime minister. You would say our prime minister in education.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Prime minister in education. Once every student has a university to what? Every student has the university. Once every student has a university. What do you mean? What's this?
Means that they means they want every high school student after their graduation they can get in a university.
Once they graduate, they get in a university. All right. Once every student. All right. So how to say it? Okay. Every student. Once every student to get in a university. So, okay. You got me?
Yeah, every student to get in a university. To get
Yes.
Okay.
And every student to get in a university. So they kind of changing the law or something. So they kind of changed the law or something.
Kind of change the law.
And changed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Change the law.
They
Change.
kind of changed the law or something. You know, to allow the occupational schools. What's an occupational school?
Occupational schools is the schools who teach you the skills of work instead of Scott instead of the schools who teach the normal high school. We learn a lot of things in order to get into university. Those occupational schools who teach them how to to be a mechanical.
No, I got you, Ariel.
Okay.
I got you. Okay, you mean like, like technical education or vocational courses and stuff.
Yeah.
Alright, so allow the occupational schools or colleges to upgrade to university. The law to allow the occupational schools or colleges to upgrade to university. Okay. I have no idea where this idea is coming from. I have no idea where this idea came from.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know where this idea came from. Just delete that. By the time I was a student, if you say by the time you were a student, that means you were a student when you went to kindergarten. So you don't say by the time you were a student.
By the time means.
Yeah, because when you say by the time I was a student, first you were not a student and then you became a student. So when did that happen? You were in kindergarten, right? Are you talking about when you were in kindergarten?
No.
No, exactly. So let's just delete that. All right. And you just say, who tried hard so hard. Okay, just say when I was a student. Okay. That's it. So when I was a student, or when I was, when I was junior high, or when I was, if you want to be more specific, but not just when I was a student. When I was a student who tried hard to survive.
I was trying to say that the time they changed the law to have every student to get in a university policy, they at that time I was a student.
Okay. All right. So you could just delete that then. And instead of a period, you use a comma. Okay? So I have no idea where this idea came from. I was only a student at that time. All right. This is not necessary. Okay. Because that thing has nothing to do with this. Right? Okay. So you don't even need to say that, mention that. It's just confusing. Like, what are you trying to say, really? Okay. So I have no idea where this idea came from. I was only a student at that time. That's it. So it's clear that you're just mentioning that you were just a student at that time. So you don't. All right. I guess I didn't pay too much attention to it, or I think the change should be no harm to students. I guess I didn't pay much attention to it, or
Right.
this. Okay. So I guess I didn't pay too much attention to it, or sorry. To it, or I thought, okay, or I thought it changes. It changes. Would it affect students?
Wouldn't affect the students.
Okay. That's what you're trying to say, right? No harm to students should be no harm, so it wouldn't really affect the students. Or if you like, wouldn't have
Impact.
a negative effect. Okay, on students. Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, so that, okay. As time goes by, the Taiwanese people realized that these are more and more, that there are more and more university graduates who do not have the ability of what a university graduate. Okay, just remove the S. Right, just remove that. As time goes by, the Taiwanese people realize that there are more and more university graduates who do not have the ability of what university graduates should have. It all came from the so-called grading policy. When the policy came out, lots of colleges and schools changed their name from XY College to XY University. But, okay, don't start another sentence. But university, but they did not. It's didn't and not. That's a redundant.
Yeah.
All right. So take note of that. Just remove that. Okay. University, but they didn't change the way they. It didn't change the way they teach students. Okay, this is a past tense. They didn't change the way they taught students.
They didn't change the way they taught students.
They taught, not teach, because this is. They didn't change the way they taught students. You're talking about the past, right?
Yeah.
Or you could say they didn't change their just they didn't change the way they taught students. Okay. I think those schools were supposed to develop students to become skilled workers in different areas. While university teach students more on research and analytical. While university teach students. Okay, I think you're confused with your periods and commas because see, while university teach students more on research and analytical thinking, I'm actually expecting a comma and then something. You know?
Yeah.
But actually, you ended up with a period, and then whatever this is a complete other idea, you know? So don't use that. Or you could just connect it here. I think those schools were supposed to develop students to become skilled workers in different areas. I don't know, maybe you're comparing it. Maybe you could say unlike.
Can I use this? Oh.
No.
Okay.
Alright, that doesn't matter because it's, you need to revise it. So, unlike All right, maybe. Okay, just remove that. Okay, so I just say unlike universities. All right, so unlike universities, who teaches, all right, students more on research and analytical thinking. All right, teaches students more on research and analytical thinking.
Who
I have a
teaches?
question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people realize there are more and more university graduates who do not have the ability of a university graduate should have. What ability are you talking about here? What kind of ability is that?
Who do not? I
Like
mean,
examples of ability. What are these abilities?
because mm, what are the abilities? You know, because when the when the university graduates, stu I mean, university students graduated from school, they go to work, and companies are complaining about this the newly graduates who is incapable of getting things done,
What?
getting their work done.
Like what? Because you're talking about skills. What kind of skills? Like, can you give me a legit example, not something very generalized?
Um, mm,
Because you see, if you go to an occupational school, like for example, an occupational school for what? Like skilled worker, somebody who would work on machines, okay, like an electrical engineering.
yeah,
So basically, an electrical engineer who went to an occupational school, they have hands-on experience on electrical stuff,
yes,
because in occupational school, they teach you what to do in the company.
yeah. Uh,
Compared to a university graduate who just read books and books and books and did research and a lot of analytical thinking, like what you said. Once they get into the company, a skilled worker who actually graduated from an occupational school would know everything that you want him to do in the job, in the
yes,
field, in the company,
yeah,
as compared to a university graduate who just read books, never really touched a machine. You would have to train him.
yes,
But a person who came from an occupational school, he doesn't really need much training. You can guarantee that he knows what he's doing compared to a university graduate who just had his master's or whatsoever, but doesn't know a thing about machines, you
yes,
know?
yeah.
So I'm asking you, what ability are you talking about here? Because if you ask my opinion, if I was the president of the company or the HR of the company, I would definitely hire a person who came from an occupational school, not a person who came from a university.
Um, it's how how do I explain? For for those occupational students who um I think they there has a degree the difference um I mean, if there is a student who is learning how to do the mechanics, I mean fixing the cars, then of course they after graduation they will go to uh the car fixing company. But for students who graduated from a school turned themselves from a college to a university, who to a university, and so as you mentioned, those students who doesn't have the ability of analytic thinking, and isn't good at who's not good at research, they cannot do the a university graduate can do.
Are you telling me that if I'm gonna go work in a company, I'll be doing research?
Sorry?
Are you telling me that if I get hired in a company, I'll be doing research? Is that what companies would let me do? Is that the jobs that I could get in a company? Research?
That could be that could be one of the jobs. I mean one of the tasks. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I know what I should say, because because lots of Taiwan's companies who required to hire, they want to hire some new hires, and their qualifications are they have to be university graduated. And this is and then I think that might be one of the reasons why they have the policy. And so those students who is not really good at who's not really born for a university material, who went to the university, and after graduation they might not really capable of doing those doing I don't know, it's a little bit yeah, it's it's hard to it's not hard to explain. It's for the students who graduated from university, what I was trying to explain is that since there are too many university graduates, and like before, like 20 years ago, or 20 years ago, there may be just 10,000 graduates from university, and now there is like 50,000, or maybe more students graduate from university, but the quality of the quality of the students is getting worse. So the companies are complaining about they cannot hire, they cannot find good people who so yeah. that's what was trying to explain.
You're trying to get good people.
Yeah, good students.
People who came from vocational schools are not good people.
Uh, I don't say that. I mean, some
But I think what you're trying to tell me is students who graduated from university are better than students who graduated from an occupational school.
oh,
That's
no,
what I'm
no.
trying to understand.
That's
Tell
not
me.
okay. That's not what I mean. Um, um,
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to say is that, for example, if there were, let's say, if there's only 10 students in Taiwan, and I mean, 10 years ago, there's only 10 students in Taiwan, and now there is only 10 students in Taiwan too. And 20 years ago, there might be 5 students who goes to university and 5 students who goes to occupational schools. And due to the policy nowadays, there will be like 8 or 9 students who goes to the university and only 1 or 2 go to the occupational schools. So lots of, I mean, students who prefer to be a university graduate than to be a occupational school graduate, and which means you know generally speaking, um, there should be a percentage of the students uh, more who is more suitable for occupational schools, and some are more suitable for universities, uh, uh, based on their personality and intelligence. But due to the policy, some students who was more suitable for who should be more suitable for occupational schools, at the end go to get went to the university to pursue a university uh, uh, to pursue a university a to be graduated from a university, but they might not be suitable for that.
Why are they not suitable?
Why? Um,
Mm-hmm.
because of the example that I mentioned. You do you know what I mean? If they
Example is generalized. That's the reason why I want you to narrow it down and give me more details about it because it's too general. You know, I can't get the point because it's too general. So I want you to give me an example that's more detailed so I could understand more. Because if you give me a general example, it's so safe. It's very broad. You got it.
mm-hmm.
So I actually have a lot of questions because it's too general. So I want you to narrow it down.
um when you say narrow it down, you want me to give you an exact example, like a
Sure,
student,
yeah, give me more details.
uh
Mm-hmm.
like a student who cannot do who is not able to do some actual work, something like that. Is that what you
Like
mean?
what work? Okay, example. Okay, like have you heard of students who is a graduate from maybe hotel and tourism or whatsoever management, who is a graduate from university, graduate from an occupational school who call themselves a university now? Or what's the difference of a Taiwanese student who came from a university who graduated from, I don't know, automotive or no, maybe mechanical engineer compared to a mechanical engineer who graduated from an occupational school who turned itself to be a university? What are the difference of these students who came from these two different schools?
I was not trying to say that the students from these two different schools has different ability.
Well, that is actually clearly stated. Who do not have the ability of what a university graduate should have. I think that's very clear in your statement over there. So that's the reason I'm asking, what ability are you talking about?
What I was trying to say is the students. What I was trying to say is that oh, it's really hard. I was trying to say that in this, you know, in a country there are for example, maybe I was wrong. I was trying to say, and in my opinion, I think that, for example, in a country there should be some graduates from university and some graduates from a
I'm saying that your answer is wrong. I just want you to explain why, because I want to understand why. You know.
Yeah, and I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
I mean in a country there should be like 30% of university, let's say 40% of university graduates and 60% of occupational students, occupational school graduates. And due to the policy, lots of the occupational schools, they changed their name into university, and so the students who graduate from those changed university, who some of them trying to pursue a okay, let me rephrase. I mean,
all right. I would want you to, maybe you could rephrase the rest. Okay. Yes. You want to change anything there? All right, from this part. Okay, down, because we already corrected this. All right. So
Okay.
if you want to change anything here, then I'll give you the chance to to change it. All right, so that would be your homework.
Okay.
And maybe, okay, sure, this is your opinion, and that's the reason why I'm asking you, like, what do you mean by this, or what do you mean by that? Can you give me concrete examples about it for me to understand more about your point, because it's too generalized, okay? It's too safe, and I don't understand. I don't get it. I need something, all right, that would make me understand what you mean by that, okay? There's just too many question marks in that. So basically, if you just want to state something, maybe this is not really your opinion, but this is what you've heard from people, so just mention it. So a long time ago, I was still a student, so I'm not so sure what's going on, but from what I heard this is what the education, this is what the Department of Education did. So most colleges turned into universities, but their way of teaching was still the same. And according to a lot of Taiwanese, people, they did not like the new system because according to them, this, and that. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were a student who came from a well-known university compared to a university that used to be a college. Most Taiwanese students or most Taiwanese people don't look up to universities who used to be college. Most students want to be in a well-known university like New Taipei University or something. All right, something like that. Okay. So maybe it's not your opinion, but it's everybody's opinion. Yeah, you could go ahead and put it there. All right. Because that was 15 years ago or that was 20 years ago. I don't know. You were still a student at that time. You don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's what you heard. So you just put it there. Okay? You got me? And just put some concrete examples to explain, to explain further what you mean by that. Like you said, the ability, what was that? Yeah, they don't have the ability of a university graduate. What ability is that? So I just want to understand what's the difference of colleges and universities? What ability are you talking about? Because if you asked me, if I was an employer, I would like to employ a person who came from a vocational school, not a university graduate. I feel like a university graduate just knows how to read books. I don't need a person who reads books in my company. I need a person who can handle my machines. You got it?
Yeah, that's for but that's for
Yeah, that's the reason why I'm asking you what ability are you talking about? You see? You got me? That's the reason why I'm asking you what ability, but because you just gave me a very general example and I'm not buying it because I still don't get it. It's too general. You're talking, oh, because they're better, blah, blah, blah. Better in what?
mm-hmm.
Like, how is it different?
Mm-hmm.
Because the way you look at it, it's like what I told you. That's how I look at it. So you have to let me understand what ability are you talking about? Like, how is a university student graduate different from a student who graduated from a university who used to be a college? You got me?
Mm-hmm.
You got it? So I just want you to make me understand what's the difference. Why do you say that a university graduate is better than, or you told me maybe you're wrong, maybe they're not better, but what are you trying to tell me then? Okay?
Okay.
Got it? So yeah, maybe you could rephrase, all right, or change, or I don't know. If you change your opinion or whatsoever, or just give me some concrete examples. There's no wrong answer here. I just want details.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So, do you have questions, Ariel?
No.
No. All right. So, if you have questions, I'll talk to you on Friday.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Have a nice day. Thank you.
All right. Have a nice day, Ariel.
Yeah, you too.
Awesome. Bye.
Bye.